The swarm technology to me is the most dangerous thing I can possibly think of. I want to start this off today by explaining to you how dangerous I believe drones can actually be. Okay, today's a little more serious. It started with something kind of funny, right? The drones, and it's kind of comical, and then people started reporting UFOs and all this stuff. I want to start this off today by explaining to you how dangerous I believe drones can actually be. That we're talked about using drones in a theater of war. We've seen them between Russia and Ukraine in that war. And one of the things that we have talked about, or one of the things that is being talked about now, is swarm drones being used during that war. We've already used drones and they've had video. And gosh, guys, anything can be doctored. Make up your own mind about it. It all looks legitimate to me. That have taken out people, tanks, helicopters, you name it. The swarm technology to me is the most dangerous thing I can possibly think of. I'm going to turn it over to a quick video. This video was made 6 years ago. I have no idea if this was a legitimate talk. If it was, and they had an actual explosive that went off inside this auditorium or wherever he's in, it could just be someone's studio like mine here, and it was fake. You know, you can fake this stuff. I hope that's what it was. But the technology, which Elon Musk has even come out and said, you know, this is real stuff. We have to take this seriously. This is legitimate. These already exist. So let me turn it over to this video real quick, and you guys kind of make up your own minds, and then we'll delve further into the drone topic in New Jersey.
It's probably have one of these, right? Not quite. Hell of a pilot? No. That skill is all AI. It's flying itself. Its processor can react 100 times faster than a human. The stochastic motion is an anti-sniper feature.
I mean, did we have AI then? I don't know.
Just like any mobile device these days, it has cameras and sensors, and just like your phones and social media apps, it does facial recognition. Inside here is 3 grams of shaped explosive.
That's
This
the part
is how it works.
That's the part that scares me a little bit right here.
Did you see that? That little bang is enough to penetrate the skull and destroy the contents.
And that's the bit right there where you see them coming out of planes and, you know, as a swarm where they're, this video, I don't know if I saw the right video. Maybe this is
These
it.
were all bad guys.
I mean, that looks fake.
Now that is an airstrike of surgical precision.
Looks fake.
It's one of a range of products.
But
trained as a team, they can penetrate buildings, cars, trains, evade people, bullets, pretty much any countermeasure. They cannot be stopped. Now, I said this was big.
Let me pause this for
Why?
a second.
Because we are thinking big.
Okay, so I don't know what company this guy works for. If he does work for a company, what the problem with what I saw there was, and you just listen to those words and think about this for a second. So just think about the number of drones that we have seen. Those are confirmed. The drones are real. We know that some people are faking the videos and they're like recording headlights going by on a window. There was a dude in Vegas, and his video got millions of views just for stupidity. There was another guy filming arrivals and departures at JFK. He's like, look at all these drones. Like, okay, dude, they're still airplanes. You know, airplanes do exist still. So, but this technology here, where they're talking about swarms and there's no way to prevent it, I think that's more like, it would make sense that we started developing technology that can defend against it. So just watch the last minute and a half or so of this video and and how much scarier the idea of drones alone could get.
Watch. A $25 million order now buys this. Enough to kill half a city. The bad half. Nuclear is obsolete. Take out your entire enemy, virtually risk-free. Just characterize him, release the swarm, and rest easy.
That didn't even look close to real, but just the thought of this. And this gets into a whole bunch of topics really, really quickly. That's kind of what I was talking about. It's not just the fact that this technology could be built. In fact, I watched a discussion with a couple of tech gurus, top tech guys in their fields, and they were saying stuff like, these chips already exist. Half the stuff that's in your phone can make this happen. Half the stuff that makes your phone operate, the cameras, the GPS location chips, the facial recognition software on your front camera, all of this stuff makes this possible. So then when you start talking about drones, you kind of look at it in a different light. Now, there's a lot of talk about the New Jersey stuff, right? And I can't let me try pulling up her video here. But I found it. Hold on, let me pause it and kind of restart it. See if I can get it paused. There we go. And I'm just gonna do a full screen thing again and let you listen to some of what she has to say together. She talks a lot about compartmentalization in the United States government, and that's a big thing. That's a big problem. If you think about it this way, you got the DoD, Department of Defense, but once they sub stuff out, and then those companies sub stuff out, who knows what the people at the bottom are doing, and they can't communicate with the people at the top. So interesting to me. Let's just watch a little bit of this video, and then we'll discuss it a little further. And you guys, I'd love to hear your feedback about this stuff. We'll talk about how this kind of relates to aliens in just a minute, and then we'll talk about some of the comments too.
What the hell these drones are in New Jersey? That's right. It's crazy going on in New Jersey.
These are not U.S. military drones.
Compartmentalization right there.
Since
they don't
won't
know.
Tell you, I'll have to. DPA Title III. The DPA was revived under Trump to ensure that things like drones, technology, and medical supplies were being produced in the U.S. so that we could move away from Chinese-produced technology. This led to two Department of Defense drone programs: the Blue UAS, Unmanned Aircraft System, and the Replicator Program. It also led to the Drone Infrastructure Inspection Grant Act, which allotted $200 million, half to creating drone infrastructure and half to training people in drones. And it just so happens that in 2023, an agreement was made which established a testing corridor between New Jersey and Delaware to allow safe trials of these new technologies.
And then they didn't tell anybody.
See how these could work in real-life scenarios. Okay, so right here we see a map of where all the drones have been spotted. And here is a map of all the military bases in New Jersey. Here's some examples of some of the drones that could be flying over this area. Could have a wingspan of 4 meters, 7 meters, which is about 22 feet. Goes along with some of the claims that people have been making. Now, as we can see, the designated corridor for the drone testing is in South Jersey, so let's explore maybe some of the reasons that we might be seeing them in North Jersey. We see that they've been seen over the Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster, but we know that during his presidency, he spent 104 days at the golf course. And it's already been stated that the Replicator program has a goal to field thousands of drones by August 2025. Okay, so what are these drones?
They're starting to be seen out west
One
too.
might be testing
a lot.
Counter drone systems, ISR,
Counter
intelligence,
drones.
surveillance, and reconnaissance. AI navigation development, this is why we're seeing it over urban and suburban areas. Okay, so why is the government acting like they don't know what's going on? Well, one, we know the government is so compartmentalized, and the left hand never knows what the right hand is doing, and that federal, local, and military don't communicate with each other at all. We also know that this is companies, private sector behind this, which is being funded by the DoD, which is why they're saying it's not the government. Because technically there's 30 contracts and over 50 subcontracts, including Anduril Industries and General Atomics.
Probably
as
more
well
than
as
that.
Skydio. Now, of course, we know why the media is playing it up. The election is over and they have to keep the lights on, so let's talk about aliens. But the fact that the government continues to deny it could be because they enjoy having an invisible threat. They love to blame the foreign adversaries. But if it was actually a foreign country, they would not be allowed to fly that low. It would justify surveillance, profit from fear, and of course it could be a distraction. There's also been a lot of emphasis on government efficiency coming from Elon Musk. He has endorsed drone warfare over manned fighter jets, saying they're more cost-effective, less human casualty, and the ability to maneuver and accelerate in a way that human pilots could never. So trust me, I want this to be aliens more than you do, okay? But shocker, the government is lying to you once again.
Yeah, and that's an interesting take on it, right? Now, I don't think all that's true. If you start looking up maps of where the drones have been seen, you'll see that we're starting to see a lot of drones out west. But what's really interesting, I got to find it. I couldn't find it before I started this video. The map of the world, I'm going to get to why this matters. The map of the world doesn't show a lot of drone activity or UFO sightings anywhere. So we're getting a lot of UFO sightings now. UFO, again, just means unidentified flying object. So if it's a drone, we don't know what it is. It could very well be considered a UFO. Not a big deal. However, back in 1990, something interesting here. I'm going to pull this up on my computer. There was a fella. Yeah, I don't remember what his name was or what he did. He died in 96. Before he posited that in order to create, it was a Canadian journalist, by the way. He posited that to create a one world government or uniformity out of all people, that we needed to have some sort of huge, well orchestrated fake celestial or supernatural event, and that they could kind of what's the word? They could not cater. You guys know what I mean, where they could make it unique for each individual country based on what their religious beliefs are or what their culture was. I mean, if it's Muslim, maybe they see Muhammad. If it's over a large cluster of Christians, maybe they see Jesus in the sky. Or maybe in America, because we fear aliens, because we've admitted that they exist, we see an alien invasion. And they're going to do this supposedly through holographic means. Some people have already been talking about it. This is not far-fetched. It's interesting that it was in the Marvel movies, and I think Tony Stark named it BARF. I don't remember what that means, but something to do with augmented reality. And then it ended up being in a Spider-Man movie. What do they call him? Mysterio. Mysterio, that's the technology he was using. And that's essentially what people are talking about could happen. Not necessarily just an alien invasion, but something for everyone. But if it was for everyone, wouldn't there be drone sightings all over the world, not just all over the United States? I mean, it's Alaska, Hawaii, the contiguous 48, and then a couple of places where the U.S. has interest, like Taiwan. My wife is Filipino. She had mentioned something about seeing stuff in the Philippines. I couldn't find anything online confirming or denying. But that thing is called Project Bluebeam. It was a Canadian journalist. What the hell is his name? Sergei Monas. He died in 96. So, and they were, I think he posited that it should happen right away. And then someone said turn of the century, 2000. I mean, why they would wait till now seems kind of weird. We have confirmed that all this stuff exists. But this is now that TikTok video that girl made was probably, I think I saw it a month ago. And this I just saw on the news here 2 weeks ago, and I wanted to pull this video up and get y'all's opinion on this. This is interesting.
Well, there's mounting frustration over the government's lack of answers on the mysterious drones flying over the East Coast right now. Lawmakers spent this week combing through what little is really known about them right now. The Pentagon saying they're not ours. FBI and Homeland Security say they don't appear foreign or from an enemy. And there's been no threat to the public. Joining me now is News Nation's.
Interesting to note here, the FAA requires certain lights to be on your aircraft. You know, red light, green light on each side of the craft, white light in the front, et cetera, et cetera. And these drones have all these lights. So, I mean, I don't know the regulations in other countries, but obviously our planes fly to other countries. Their planes fly here. They all have the same damn lights. They're all made by the same manufacturers, Boeing, Airbus, Embraer, you know. I find that curious. They're not messing with anybody. People have shot at them. I think that's insane. Imagine if this was an alien race and you got Bubba out back with his shotgun shooting at this drone and he hits it and it turns out there's an alien inside who's being controlled by the mothership that we don't know is floating above us, above Earth somewhere. Don't shoot him. But the other thing is don't shoot him because some of the things that you guys are mistaking as drones are small planes. If a Cessna's flying forward at 85 knots in a 80 knot headwind, it's going to look like it's not moving. That's going to look like it's stationary and it's a drone. Don't shoot at those guys. They can fly low and slow. So stop shooting at drones. Let's continue watching. If I can find my mouse, which I can. Okay.
Special correspondent Ross Coldhart. Ross, good morning to you. It's like no matter what way you slice it, we got a problem, right? If it's Russia or Iran behind it, there's a problem. If we simply don't know who it is, that's a problem.
Well, good morning, firstly, and can I say, let's hope it's aliens, because if it's Russia or China, we have a very serious problem. And this is the issue. The government has now admitted that we are of the view that it's not a foreign adversary government, a foreign adversary of any kind, and moreover, it's not US technology, US government technology, or US military technology.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't believe that so much.
Very much. All it leaves is the possibility of some dissident rogue group in government or maybe some private contractor that's doing the wrong thing. It really does put us in an extraordinary position because what's happening at the moment, Marky, is I'm being besieged with angry people from places, not just New Jersey, but all over the United States, who are telling me that they're really angry that the White House has suggested that this is a misidentification. Unfortunately, yesterday, Admiral John Kirby, the national security spokesman, pushed the line that people in New Jersey particularly are misidentifying manned aircraft all the time for these drones and suggest.
That's not untrue, though. We know that that's not untrue because we got people posting videos. Like I mentioned earlier, the fella that's posting a video of incoming planes and departing planes from JFK. And I don't think he was joking. We can also go back to say the public at large doesn't look as intelligent when you look at individual people. And you can see this when you got Little Late shows that do that, the on the street sketch bits, and they ask people questions that are either difficult or they may not know the answer to. And then they're only going to post the ones where the people don't know the answers. People on the internet or people on influencers do this same thing. This is how they become influencers. They make other people look dumb. But they're like, if they're asking me the question and they say, hey, how many days in the weekend and why, I'm obviously going to know the answer, and they're not going to play that because it's not going to play well to their audience. But when the guy says to them, when there's, I got orange on my lip. I was eating during the video. When the guy says, it's every weekday except Thursday, right? They're going to play that. Or when the girl responds and says to the question, what's 33 divided by 3? And she says 5. They're going to play that. That's going to play well. That's how Hawk Tuah girl got famous because, frankly, that's kind of that's a risque subject to be talking about anyway. I mean, I know it was a risque question, but it's going to catch the views because it's going to catch you off guard for half a second. So you know, I don't know that I follow the same logic that this guy's kind of pushing in this video. And in fact, I don't even think I need to play the rest of the video. It's mostly the same shtick. It's we don't know, we don't know. Everybody's saying they don't know. But you go back to what this girl said, and she said, hey, the government is extremely compartmentalized. That's a real thing. They don't talk to each other. The federal, state, local governments don't talk to each other. Different departments don't talk to each other. Different three-letter agencies, even the FBI and CIA don't get along. You know, they both want to cancel each other because they're both useless to the other one. So they say. So, you know, do I think aliens exist? Yeah, I do. But I don't know what to call that. I don't know if it's, I don't know yet whether it's intelligent life. I mean, think about how many planets are out there. Trillions and trillions of planets, billions of planets apparently in our own galaxy. You could never get to the other side of the galaxy without ripping space-time or folding it or bending it or something. And then for the U.S. government to start admitting to weird things we've seen in the sky, I don't know that that's evidence of an intelligent life force coming down here and talking to us. I mean, and then there's people that have said or confirmed, the whistleblower people, that, we've captured aliens and we've talked to them. Well, I mean, did they speak English? Did they pick up our language in all of 15 seconds before they died in our atmosphere that they probably weren't designed to be in? I mean, there's so many dumb questions that come out of it. Do I think that, I mean, think about this. Let's think about it like this. Imagine there are aliens on Mars right now, and we send up these rovers. Now, we haven't sent up a bunch because it's expensive, but we've spent up a few. I think we're at 4 or 5 now. Somebody can look that up. I don't really care. I mean, I do care because it's cool as hell. But imagine if you were on Earth, this thing landed in the middle of a field in Utah, and you were the person that saw it. What are you going to think? How would you react? Who would you call? If you call the local police department, what are they going to do? They're going to call the military in? Is the military going to turn it over to a science lab out in Roswell, New Mexico? It just seems so far-fetched to me. That if an alien did exist and they did land here, God, there would be, I mean, especially in these modern times where we're all carrying around a camera in our pocket, somebody would have filmed it. Somebody would have got it on camera and it would have leaked somehow, somewhere. There's no way that many people are keeping a secret unless they're keeping them locked up. Then you could jump to conspiracy theories. And listen, I know, and this is another sketchy, weird thing that's happening in modern times, that we have proven that a lot of these conspiracy theorist people are correct. So what is your take on this? What is your take? First of all, drones are scary. That's the review here. Drones can be deadly. We know drones can be deadly, and I don't think they're anything to mess with. I do think that the DOD and whoever else is involved has probably developed some kind of anti-drone technology because, I mean, that's just what we do, right? Someone creates a missile that can reach the United States. We create a missile that can shoot that missile out of the sky. Someone creates a 4th-gen fighter. We create a 5th-gen fighter, or whatever. That's how warfare works. I got to scare the other guy. I mean, why do we even have nukes? Why do we have enough nukes to destroy the entire planet? That's stupid just to have them. It's a deterrent. So we create the better technology to deter. And I probably, that sounds like the most likely scenario. Do I think that the U.S. government could pull off Project Bluebeam? No. Do I think that a private company could? Yes. I don't think that it is beyond. I bet you holographic technology exists in a bubble right now, but not any bigger than the bubble. You can put a hologram right now in a box and see someone the way they are on the other side of the world. Exactly as their body looks as a hologram. Can we do that in the sky? Probably not. And if that's what Project Bluebeam suggests, is that it would be holographic technology. But I think people are already, I don't want to say terrified, but they're a little worried at least about these drones in the sky and just seeing them. And just knowing that they're flying over our heads and they're doing it probably autonomously, that's a little worrisome. That can be something to think about for sure. So I don't know that aliens. I don't think that there's anything. I don't think aliens have anything to do with the drones. I think the UFO sightings, you're really going to have to make up your own mind on that one. It's one of two things, right? It's either real and these pilots saw weird stuff and orbs and tic tacs and flying in weird patterns and with G forces that human beings could not take. But then again, why couldn't that be a drone? Why couldn't the U.S. government or a foreign power have figured that out? So maybe it's not holograms. Maybe it's a government entity, U.S. government, whoever's doing this testing. Because you notice one thing that she talked about in the video, this was all on this planned corridor in New Jersey, except they went to Pennsylvania and New York, and people are seeing them out in the western states like Utah, and I think even over Vegas now, there's a lot of reports of these drones. And that is a little unsettling to me. So, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear more. I'd love to have a discussion with somebody that knows more about this or that has a crazy, crazy conspiracy theory about it. And maybe the crazy conspiracy theories are true. So, the alien thing I think is a little far-fetched, but well, as far as holographic aliens, I think that's a little far-fetched, but I wouldn't put it past them to be able to have a bunch of Tic Tacs or whatever they called them flying around really, really quickly and then disappearing or something. And that's probably, you just fly a few thousand of those around the country. That's probably enough to scare the shit out of everybody. So, but what would be the purpose? Why can't, if the purpose of Project Bluebeam, which is what this article said that I read, the article was from Newsweek. It's a covert operation by global elites to establish a totalitarian world government. Look, I think that's a potential real thing. I don't think a one world government, by the way, would be all that bad unless it was like communist or socialist or we couldn't agree. And as long as they let everybody kind of live their life, why would that be so bad? I don't know. And you can chime in on that too. Chime in on the comments and tell me why that would be terrible if the whole world was really just operating under one government. Imagine you'd never have to carry a passport. All the money, you could just use money all over the world. You wouldn't have to transfer it and do all kinds of weird crap when you go overseas. I don't see the gigantic problem with a one world government. We wouldn't be fighting anymore. There would be no more wars because war is stupid. I don't care what you say. War is awful. It's dumb. There's never a reason for it. Land, money, oil. There's never a reason for it. There's never a good reason to go to war. So this is University of Pennsylvania professor Vijay Kumar. Seems skeptical that the drones are being sent by foreign state. I mean, first of all, how the hell are they getting over here? The ocean's big, okay? Unless they're coming from Mexico or Canada, which I doubt. I don't think Canada fights with anybody. U.S. government operation sounds likely to be what it really is. He says the same thing this girl said. They're all near military bases, which also makes sense. But that could be why they're popping out up too in Nevada and Utah and other places where we have a lot of bases. I'm surprised we haven't heard anything out of Colorado Springs. I don't think anybody's had any reports up that way. Let me know. Maybe I'm wrong. Director of Mason Autonomy and Robotics Center. She's skeptical that the drones are as large as had been reported. Now, I will tell you this, though. 22 feet, 1,000 feet off the ground is tiny. It looks like a dot. I mean, if any of you have ever flown an RC plane or have a drone, like a little toy drone that you have at home, like the Phantom DJI or whatever, those drones are like, they're like this big. They're a couple feet across. When they're with the propeller, if you go propeller tip to propeller tip, 3.5 feet or something. And by the time they're 150, 200 feet up in the air, you can't even see where the hell it is. You got to look at your screen and know where it is, So, I don't know. She's probably wrong about that particular thing. Small, medium-sized drones that are commercially available. I doubt that. If they are drones, they'd like to be controlled by line of sight. Why? Why do they have to be controlled by line of sight? See what she says right here. They'd have to be controlled by line of sight, so probably from the water, but not miles out to sea. Line of sight as in the controlling device would have to see them. Don't we fly unmanned aircraft all the time, phantom aircraft that have weapons and bombs on them, and they can do reconnaissance and stuff. I don't buy that shtick either. I don't buy that. Oh well, they have to be close by. Nah, probably not. If we can get a audio signal to outer space and a video signal comes back from the ISS, I'm pretty sure we can fly a drone over New Jersey without being able to see it. I mean, come on. Radio waves. I don't know if you guys know this. Radio waves travel at the speed of light. That's why they say they were able to contact the people on the moon and get signals back quickly, because radio waves travel at the speed of light, because anything with no mass travels at the speed of light. So if you got a radio wave traveling at the speed of light, even out into space and back, I mean, you're talking on the phone to somebody and there's almost no delay. The delay is actually from your electronics, not from the signal transfer. So the electronics in your phone, that basically like the filters. So I don't buy that one either. But so anyway, I'd love to know more opinions. I'd love to have a chat with somebody about it. It's a really interesting topic to me. Drones. Drones. It's not aliens. It's not aliens. It'd be cool if it was, but it's not. It's not aliens. Love you guys. See you next time.